a headline that Ukraine is losing the war, and that's not something that the mainstream media has been real quick to admit. They tried to do in the last week or two, they tried to do like a push to take some of the land back that they lost. And they still got a little bit of it, but Russia's still taking more land elsewhere. And they're losing a lot of men. It's costing them a lot. They're paying a lot for this, and they're not really getting much benefit from it. I still say that, yeah, that this war is probably closer to the end. We might be close to, maybe we got another month of it to go, of the fighting. I think the United States and Trump would like to get out of that. And maybe if I were Trump, what I would be doing, and this is what he might be doing, asking Russia, hey, we'll lay off Ukraine, we'll end the war there if you maybe stop backing Iran. And there has been some evidence that they're maybe not doing quite as much to help Iran. I think China's helping Iran, though. I really don't know for sure about that, though, but I think there might be something like, if you withdraw from Ukraine or even try to end the war or negotiate an end to the war and give us something that we want, that they would maybe give us something that we would like and stop helping Iran. I mean, Iran's killing its own people. They're killing their own people, civilians. And it's kind of obvious that that's what's happening. I don't think there's a big question of that happening or not. And so I kind of see something coming down the pike that maybe Russia won't really say anything, but will just not support them so much, and that in return the Ukraine war will just kind of mysteriously end. Now Europe isn't on board. Europe wants to arm Ukraine with nuclear weapons. They want to keep fighting. And I don't think it's real popular with the civilians in Europe, though. I think they'd kind of like to see an end to the war, too, because they're awful close to... they're a little closer to the action there, and if that were to spread, Europe's the ones that would be in the fray. They would be the ones sending men in there, and if Russia did strike anyone, maybe it would be Europe. That would be something that would enter into your mind if you're a civilian. Are we going to get bombed? By Russia? And so, even though the government really wants to keep it going in Europe, the United States maybe can pull some strings and say, yeah, you can go ahead and fight but you're not going to get anything from us. You're going to have to fight with your own resources. They don't have enough. They don't have enough resources. They can't build enough. And they can't fight with nuclear weapons. I think Britain wanted to send nuclear weapons to Ukraine, which is just going to escalate the whole thing. And Trump, just soon this thing end, and Russia probably would like to see it end. And if they could work out an agreement, Zelensky doesn't really... I think Zelensky knows he's losing. And there's some people that are kind of like, yeah, let's get rid of Zelensky. I think he knows that he could be gotten rid of. That he could be taken out of power. And, this has been going on for a long time. And it's like, how much more is he going to be able to last? Or someone either shoots him or people start calling for his dismissal or something like that. Trump's never really especially J.D. Vance, they've never really shown that they really like the guy all that much. He shouldn't even be in power. They should have an election. And yeah, I'm sure Russia's getting tired of the war. And so maybe they'll give in a little bit too. Because they're not going to have Iran helping them anymore. Iran is struggling for their own survival. And so they're probably going to lose Iran. I mean, maybe the Iranian government won't be overthrown for a while, but it might go tomorrow. And so they may have to give up Iran. I mean, the United States Navy is over there, and I think they're a little bit afraid to strike Iran, partly because of Russia. But if we could get Russia to back down, we could strike Iran, or we could just scare Iran enough that they step down. I mean, they said that they hit their nuclear weapons last year, but it sounds like they'd like to hit them again, so maybe they didn't really do that good of a job of taking them out. They might still have something that they could make a nuclear weapon out of, and they would probably lob it at maybe Israel, I don't know. And then there's the Taiwan situation. That's going to come later, I think, the Taiwan situation. I think that's going to come near the end of Trump's term. And it may actually be so bad that he has to stay extra time to finish it. In other words, they may have to delay the election. I think it's in 2028. So he may have to stay past his term to finish that off. And it'll be finished off. It'll be resolved. But it's going to take longer than Trump's term to resolve, and I think Trump's going to have to stay and finish it. And in my opinion, if he would have not gotten involved fighting Russia, we wouldn't have had to deal with that. Him having to stay after to take care of China. Because China's strengthened by this. They're helping Russia and Ukraine to fight us, and we have no business in Ukraine. And so that's going to cost us maybe having to delay the election. And people are going to be scared by that. And, it's going to be like, yeah, we're not going to have an election. Is Trump going to just stay? He's going to stay for maybe an extra year or something like that. Maybe 6 months or a year. And it's going to be kind of a scary time, I think, towards the end of Trump's term. I think, this guy's... He could have turned here, I suppose. But they're going to probably try to take Taiwan, and I think that's when they're going to do the cyber attack on the United States. And it's going to create a situation where they won't be able to have an election. They're going to be disrupting our internet. They're going to be disrupting they're going to be disrupting our society. They're going to be using cyber warfare against us. I don't think they're going to bomb our cities or anything. At least not here in the United States. But I think they're going to do what they can to disrupt our thing here, and they're going to try to grab Taiwan, I think. And we're going to have to go over there and fight them.